to see the successor. And yes, and so that was really nice. And he said he described it as a gesture of interreligious friendship. That's what he said to me. A gesture of interreligious friendship, solidarity. That's why he wanted to be here from Thailand, a Buddhist monk.
Beautiful. And our camera work here, we were just zooming in on that balcony from where the new Pope will appear. Joe, tell us about, when you're explaining to people in the square, what's next, what's going to happen? I'm sure people are asking you, so what happens? The Pope's new elected.
That's right, yeah. So I've been explaining to people exactly. So we know that right now the Pope is, he's got a few things to do before he appears on the loggia. So we'll have the Cardinal Proto-Deacon will come out, unless of course it's the Cardinal Proto-Deacon that's been elected. And he will give the Habemus Papam, the announcement in Latin. We'll hear said in Latin the name of whoever's been elected Pope, and people will be listening very carefully, trying to see if they can catch that name. And if they can't catch it, they'll see the Pope a moment afterwards, because the Proto-Deacon will leave the balcony, and the Pope will come out and he'll greet the people. He'll speak probably in Italian. He'll probably say a prayer and deliver his first address. And that's what everybody here now is waiting for, that moment when they see the new Pope for the first time.
And Joe, how about yourself? You're going to be there for us, aren't you? You're going to be staying there in the square.
Yeah, that's right. No, of course. I mean, CJ, there's nowhere else I would rather be in the world right now than right here in the square. So yeah, you couldn't move me from here if you tried. I'll be here.
Fantastic. And you'll be telling all your friends about this experience you're having here right now in the future, I'm sure.
Well, thanks so much, Joe.
Cheers, TJ.
Thank you, Joe. We're going to be back with you very soon for more update on all happening in the square there. So, Monsignor Vitilla, tell us a bit about this experience for you now. I mean, this experiencing it live, the smoke coming out here, and now our great sense of anticipation for who the next Pope will be.
Well, it's just such a privilege to be here in Rome at this time, but also I've probably felt closest to Pope Francis because I've served him in different ways, both as the in my work at Caritas Internationalis, and then also at the Secretary General of the International Catholic Migration Commission. I always used to say he's the best guru you could ever have to do public relations on migrants and refugees, and I don't have to pay him a thing, So, and there were many times when I was able to meet him, and it was so beautiful an experience each time. So the emotions are more now than they were other times, because I loved the popes, but they were strange to me. I didn't know them so well. I met Pope John Paul II a couple times, but not as closely as working with Pope Francis. It's wonderful, it's exciting, and then it's a real privilege to be here at Vatican Radio and to have been part of our smoke watching together.
It's now smoke warning, of course. So, and a severe smoke warning.
Exactly.
And white smoke, that's makes it even more severe, so to speak. But it's severe good news, I like to joke and say.
Yes.
But
I think it's going to be very nice. I'm very happy that I was here. And just when I was walking out the door, and I just thought, I don't want to be alone in this moment.
Yes.
This is a moment of ecclesia. This is the moment of people gathered together. I'm going to run back upstairs and knock on the door and see if they'll let me back. I'm so happy to be able to share this moment, and I love this view of the square and all of these people who are gathering together in really a tremendous sense of rejoicing. This is after our 9 days of mourning, after the shock of Pope Francis's death, we are rejoicing again, and that is very lovely for a beautiful, beautiful day in Rome.
Yes.
yeah, stunning. Actually, perfect weather, and I like to jokingly call this kind of weather severe good weather. It's just wonderful. It's sunny and brilliant, and of course, I remember in 2013 when Pope Francis was elected. It was during the evening. It was dark out, and it was still
Cold.
Yes.
It
rather
was
cold and wet.
and rainy.
And the sun set later, but it was illuminated with the lighting in the square, and now the even improved lighting they have on the basilica now. It's stunning. The square and the facade, how they've renewed and the lighting. But then it was illuminated by all the phones being held up and all. But here we have the brilliant sunlight illuminating all the people there in the square and growing in number. And now, Dr. Lev, tell us a bit about, I was thinking, the central loggia of the basilica there, and even the history behind it of the popes appearing from that loggia, from that balcony, and giving their most solemn blessing, Urbi et Orbi, which the new pope will impart after he greets the crowds there. That solemn blessing to the city, in Latin, to the city and the world. Which is,
that's the first task. That's his first act, is to impart this blessing, because after all, he is the Pontifex Maximus. He is the bridge between heaven and earth. So today we'll see him in the facade of St. Peter's. And that facade, which was built, beautiful construction by Carlo Maderno from 1612, but even in some of the buildings in Rome you might not recognize actually have a loggia of benedictions. So there's a sort of strange side transept on St. John Lateran, because when the popes lived over there, that was where the pope would come out for the Orbi et Orbi blessing. Or even the church of San Marco in Piazza Venezia, where Pope Paul II lived, he also had a loggia of the benedictions placed into his house/church/ because the popes weren't officially living in the Vatican. And then even what it means to have the